The just revealed Volvo C40 and the top-of-the-line Hyundai Ioniq 5 Project 45 are surprisingly similar in many ways, including battery capacity, performance, and pricing. In this video, I'll perform a side-by-side comparison of these unexpected rivals and show you which one is the better car for your €60,000. At first, these two might not seem like competitors because one is a Hyundai and the other a Volvo. But the Ioniq 5 Project 45 is a top-of-the-line limited edition and is close in price to the C40. Pricing for the Project 45 varies between €55,000 and €59,000 depending on which market you look at. Pricing for the C40 hasn't been released yet, but expected to be a few thousand more than its sibling, the XC40. That brings these two within a competitive price band. Now, for both manufacturers, these cars represent firsts. For Hyundai, the first all-electric car designed from the ground up, and for Volvo, the first model to be sold exclusively as an electric car. The C40 shares the same CMA platform and a number of styling cues as its sibling, the XC40. But unlike the boxier XC40, the C40 sports a fastback line in keeping with the prevailing design trend and for better aerodynamics. I guess the designation C, which used to mean coupe, now refers to a Ford or crossover with the fastback coupe styling. Go figure! That style of vehicle is notoriously hard to design, and we've seen a number of bad examples, but Volvo has actually done a pretty decent job. The overall proportions are good, and it's got some characteristic Volvo design cues in the Thor's hammer lights and these sexy taillights. The Ioniq 5 rides on Hyundai's eGMP platform and sports a more conventional look of a hatchback. Inspired by the original Hyundai, the Pony, this is a new design direction for the company. It's got good, crisp, clean lines and makes use of geometric shapes like squares, rectangles, and diagonal lines. The styling of both cars is great, but I like that Hyundai has bucked the trend and gone with the clean retro look. The big difference between these two is in the size. The C40 is a subcompact, while the Ioniq 5 is a compact. Exact dimensions are not out for the C40, but I expect them to be similar to the XC40 in length and wheelbase. What's notable is that while the XC40 is shorter than the Ioniq 5 by about 8 inches, the wheelbase of the Ioniq 5 is longer by almost 12 inches, giving more room to the interior. Also, due to the smaller size and sloped roofline, I expect the cargo size of the C40 to be smaller than that of the Ioniq 5. So on the exterior, we see that Volvo has taken many cues from its existing lineup, while Hyundai has started with a clean sheet. And so it is with the interior too. The C40's interior is very similar to that of the XC40. The dash cluster and infotainment system are the same. For the C40, Volvo promises that the interior will be completely leather-free. One intriguing detail is this backlit panel. I'll be curious to find out what that is as more information comes out. I would assume that the C40 gets some of the XC40's innovative features like the trash can, takeout hook, and the deep side pockets. There's a lot of innovation in the Ioniq 5 too. With the long wheelbase and flat floor, Hyundai's designers have come up with some inventive features like a center console that slides back so that rear passengers can use the wireless charger, relaxing seats that recline with footrests, and rear seats that can slide. The company also uses sustainable materials in the cabin, including those made from recycled PET bottles, natural wool yarns, plant-based yarns, and eco-processed leather. The rest of the interior is a completely fresh design with a minimalist look. Infotainment is through a 12-inch touchscreen, and there's also a 12-inch digital instrument cluster next to that. What I do like about the C40 is the portrait format infotainment screen, which makes it a lot easier for navigation. And I think Volvo's use of Google as the operating system is a smart move. Additional technology that the C40 offers includes Pixel LED headlights. Pixel LED headlights are also offered by the Ioniq 5, but the list of tech features goes further. There's a solar roof, heads-up display with augmented reality, assisted driving that will change lanes for you, and capability that allows you to use your car as a power source. The Project 45, being fully loaded, gets all these features. So, there are some pretty impressive and innovative features in the Ioniq 5. Will it continue to impress with performance? Given that the Ioniq 5 Project 45 is the top-of-the-line limited edition, it gets the larger 72.6 kWh battery and all-wheel drive. The C40 gets the same 75 kWh battery as the XC40 and also all-wheel drive. The C40's motors produce more torque and significantly more horsepower. As a result, it is slightly faster. But the Hyundai can charge faster. It has 800-volt charging capability compared to the C40's 400-volt architecture. As for range, the C40 is expected to get 420 kilometers. The only number we have from Hyundai is for the rear-wheel drive option, so expect the all-wheel drive version to get less, bringing it closer to the C40. With a slightly smaller battery, it appears to be more efficient than the C40. But what's notable for me is that the XC40 gets 418 kilometers, only 2 kilometers less than the C40, which tells me that perhaps the C40's fastback styling isn't much more aerodynamic than the XC40's boxier styling. What emerges from this comparison is a study in contrasts. For the first model to be sold only in electric format, Volvo in the C40 delivers an evolution of the XC40, which itself started life as a gas car. That feels like a half-hearted effort at making an all-electric car. Hyundai, on the other hand, starts with a clean sheet and develops a new car from the ground up, which results in some pretty impressive innovations. The Hyundai brand is associated with economy cars, so some buyers may have an issue with spending this much money on the Ioniq 5 and would rather get a C40 from a luxury brand like Volvo. Another reason to get the C40 would be if you needed a smaller sized car. But if it were my €60,000, I'd get the Ioniq 5 Project 45. I'm really impressed by the level of innovation and engineering they have put into this car, and I think they've done a stellar job. And I say that with a bit of sadness because I'm a proud owner of a Volvo myself. I wish Volvo success, and I hope they invest research and development to deliver electric cars that can compete with its rivals. Please give the video a like, share your comments below, and subscribe to the Driver Download.